reality is complex and difficult to find solutions, but we have to try. I mean, people need to be active citizens because they need to be masters of their own lives.
Last time I was in the city center, because I love books, I was looking at their windows, and I saw that much books on forest bathing, tree bathing, the Japanese art of forest bathing, and I was laughing, of course, because that much books to remind you they just go outside, just go out in nature.
Yeah,
it's a whole science behind, and I was happy to see that, but on the other side, I was like, come on, did we really forget just to get outside?
Yeah. But on the other hand, okay, if you have a coffee table book on gardening or forests or something, why not? I mean, it keeps your dream alive. And I think this kind of, I have also one, let's say, guilty pleasure. I play, not every week, but I sometimes play the lottery. And of course, it doesn't make sense at all because we know the statistics against us, we will not win, right? But at the same time, and a friend of mine, John Casti, who was a mathematician, who, by the way, also wrote 2 great books that I can recommend. The one is called Mood Matters. The other one is called, I think, X Events. He's a great guy. And he also says, well, you know, that the statistics is that basically the chance that you're not even, maybe that you die in a week, you know, is also very minimal. And the chance that you win the lottery is also very minimal. But still, you're not thinking of okay, that there's a statistical chance there's no denying that we will not live until next weekend, because there can be an accident, there can be an earthquake, asteroid can hit the planet Earth, whatever it is, or you can have a heart attack. So, but you're sure that you're gonna live next week, right? That's how we are, you know, what we are telling ourselves. But so the chance of dying, you just push it away. But the lottery, which is also a very minimal chance, you buy the ticket. You buy the ticket. And of course, that is a metaphor for, let's say, human optimism. You believe, okay, I can win the lottery. At the same time, if a statistician tells you, listen, also the chance of you not living until next Sunday is very minimal, that happens, but it's there. And you say, no, it won't happen, right? So in the one case, you say, who knows? Maybe I win the lottery. In the other case, you say, no, I don't think so. I don't think
it's
that's
kind of your meditation of reminding yourself to dream and to
and the next thing is, and maybe that's a really good reason to buy the lottery. It's just in Austria, it's just €1.20 or whatever it is nowadays. So it's affordable. And the thing is, just by one tip, you know, that it doesn't matter, you know, because for me, the fun is you think, okay, what would you do? Again, I've talked about life-changing events. Of course, if you win the lottery, let's say $1 million or something.
What would you do?
Well, I don't know. That there is too many things I would do with it. But imagine, you know, you basically think of it. You buy a dream. You know, you from Monday to Wednesday when there is the draw. When you buy the ticket, let's say right after the last draw on Sunday, you buy the ticket as soon as you can, and then you have 3 days of. What would I do?
Is it easier to say no to colleagues and to projects coming because I'm going to be a millionaire, I don't need it?
Well, I think I would not stop doing what I'm doing, because of course money that you get paid for that. What you then, if you get paid for something that you're doing that you actually love, is fantastic. It's the best. It's the biggest privilege I think that you can have in your working life. So I wouldn't stop doing what I'm doing, but you probably would have the luxury of focusing more on the things that you really love to do in what you're doing. Maybe so in the case of like doing video casts or podcasts, you can invest into equipment, you can travel, and then also you can do what can I improve other people's lives? How can I be more meaningful citizen or whatever? I think there's many things that you could do, but again, I think that the case that I'm making for this guilty pleasure is, okay, it gives you the opportunity to do that. I think there there is a joke, you know, that about this person who goes to church and prays, you know, like, please, I want to win the lottery, right? And then you hear the guys, they finally finish with prayers, and you hear the voice of God. You know what? Go buy a ticket. So that is, if you wish for something that, and again, I'm seeing it as the lottery as a metaphorical thing for being able to win the lottery. You need to buy a ticket. So that's for sure. And I think that is a nice metaphor in life. And even, you know, the ticket doesn't win you the lottery, right? But at least it's an entry. It's something. And the same is, let's say, and I think we started out talking about news gathering information. This is the first thing, you know, if you want to be part of you know, taking of political life, of life in society, etc., you need to be informed. And then also, if you are informed, you can be a participant in the society, a meaningful participant, and that is the prerequisite. So you need to go out there, be informed, and at the same time also, I would say that in the times like this, you need to go. This is almost like an obligation, because if you're privileged enough, that's, you know, your fate gifted you with the opportunity to think that way, to have enough resources or money, or you had an education and parents, etc., where education was a big part of your early life. I think it's a privilege, first of all, but also I think it's an obligation to do something with it, because it would be a waste. Like if you find out you're gifted, that you are a musician like Mozart, and imagine you're not becoming a composer. Nature has gifted you with this incredible talent and you're not using it. I think that would be horrible. So I strongly encourage people, especially young people, to participate in, because obviously if you are listening to this, you know, podcast or viewing the video cast, then you are educated, right? We can assume that you're fairly educated. Otherwise, how would you have found out about it, etc.? Why would you be interested in all the stuff that we're talking about? And I think you have an obligation to participate in society, because otherwise people will run society for you, and you don't want that. So I think one of the 10 principles of Burning Man, we talked about this, is participation. And that is in the literal sense. It's not that you buy a ticket and now you watch what the show. You know, that's not what this festival is doing. And I think a lot of festivals that come up today are running in that its participation is key. Another principle, by the way, is radical inclusion, which also I think is interesting. Another one is radical self-expression, which is also great. But let's not talk about this stuff. That's for another talk. But participation is key, and especially young people need to understand, if they do not participate, you know, then things can go downhill pretty fast. I mean, we talked about this before, but that we find out that a person like Madeleine Albright, who's a very, you know, she's not a woman who's like shocked